Welcome to Brunch with Besties podcast.
Hey guys.
I am Sherry Renee.
And I'm Chanel.
Our mission is to heal and help others as we heal and help ourselves through purpose-driven conversations.
Yep.
We're back again, guys.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about insecure.
Yes.
Or at least where we are in the season insecure thus far.
Yes. Yep.
And so the common theme that you brought up, Chanel, was communication.
Yeah, I think that is the overall theme this season.
Yeah, so we're going to talk through that. But before we get into that, we're going to start like we always do with a toast.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and give my toast to this weather that we're having. It's been great weather. I've been getting outside walking every day, so I'm really excited about the change in weather. Even though we're still under like safer at home order, it's nice to like walk around outside and recognize the flowers are blooming, the leaves are growing back on the trees. It's just like, oh wow, this is nice. So that's my shout out. Okay, Wisconsin, keep it up.
Okay, Mother Nature.
Listen,
okay, guys.
We'll see.
Come through with the weather.
Come through, because we loving it. So yeah, it's been nice.
Yes. My toast goes to Lakita.
Okay.
So Lakita did an amazing show a few months ago. She actually had a panel discussion that I was a part of, and it was called I'm Not Your Superwoman.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about the construct of the superwoman, and she was leading up to one woman show that ended up being canceled. But we will upload her one woman show on our podcast so that you guys can listen to it, and then we're going to invite you to call in to the second panel discussion, which is a follow-up to that one. So all the information will be in our show notes, and we hope to see you there.
Yes, join us.
Join us on the live call. So, ciao. Let's break bread.
Okay.
What's going on?
What is going on? I feel like it's a lot of stuff. So you just alluded to one. We are definitely going to be hosting Lakita's one-woman show that's now like a Zoom kind of panel discussion, which we're really excited about doing that. So being able to have the opportunity to host that in a virtual kind of format is going to be new for us and exciting. So we're very thankful for the opportunity. Thank you, Lakita, for always looking out for Brunch with Besties. And yeah, just make sure you join us there. We're, like I said, looking forward to it. And that's really it. Just trying to prepare for that, getting our space together so that we can continue to bring you guys some great content.
Yes.
Yeah.
Child, so for my breaking bread, your girl is trying to get her life together, child. She's been studying, she's been reading, she's been doing practice exams.
Nice.
She is tired, she is black, and she is hungry. Okay, that's what she is right now because she's been testing all day, and that's why we had to move our recording time back.
First of all, I need a little more time.
Right. So time for the tip. What are we reading?
We are reading Relationship Goals by Pastor Mike Todd. And join us.
Read along with us for free using our free 30-day Audible trial, www.audibletrial.com/BWB. BWB is in Brunch with Besties.
Yep.
So, child, we're going to move into tea time.
Moving right along.
So, again, we're talking about Insecure.
Yes.
Insecure is an amazing show on HBO brought to you by Issa Rae.
Yes.
You may remember Issa Rae from such and such. No, you may remember Issa Rae from Awkward Black Girl, which is where I first met Issa Rae. And also seasons 1, 2, and 3
of Insecure.
Absolutely. So it's just beautiful to see her kind of curate her own content and evolve from a YouTube channel where she literally was doing everything, writing, producing, filming, doing everything just because she believed in it. She wanted it to go far, and I was a big fan of Awkward Black Girl because I said, that's me.
Yes.
She's awkward and black. That was one of her songs that she did on there. And one of the things that Insecure is notorious for is her character, who's also called Issa, she raps to herself. It's so funny. But in any case, we are now in season 4.
Yeah.
And the theme has been, thus far, we're on episode 6.
Yeah.
And the theme has been communication.
Yes, communication.
So, child.
Yeah. Whew. It's just been a lot. And again, to what Sherry Renee just said about like just watching the overall story kind of conceptualize over this time. So thinking, it's been a few years since Insecure has been on, so to see where they are right now in season 4 it's just so relatable, I think, and it's so like, yeah, I've been Issa D at this point, or I've been Molly, or I've been whoever on the cast. So, but I do think the overarching theme, and my friends on Twitter may agree with me or not, but it's been communication or lack thereof, how to effectively communicate.
Lack thereof.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think the episode starts very high, where it's like, we've all evolved, like we're zen, we're doing self-care Sundays, like we are only doing things that serve us, we're not going to be negative, we're done with toxicity. It's like making these declarations, and I think we do that a lot. We're like, here we are, we've evolved. That was my that was the lower version of myself, but the higher version of myself would never
ever do that.
Do that.
Yes.
And so, we see a couple scenes where maybe we should start with Molly and Issa, where they're just like they've always been, just tight as thieves, and they're doing their self-care Sunday, which is, their version of it.
Right.
So, hey, it's their version of it, child, and that's all you can do is your version of self-care
Your version
Sunday.
of self-care, whatever works.
Right, but it's like they're, ingrained in each other's life, but then somewhere along the lines, they get out of sync.
Yeah, they do. They do. And I think it's because their lives are kind of taking them in different directions, where, Issa is really focusing on her purpose and what that means to her and what that looks like for her. And Molly is kind of focusing on, like, healing and relationships. And those are two very different, like, roads to travel. So I think that's where their bump and miscommunication is happening, because one they're valuing different things at the same time, like consecutively.
What are they valuing?
So like I said, I think Issa's really valuing like what purpose is, her independence, her like just attaining her dreams and goals as far as like the Block Party is concerned. That's really something that she was very passionate about, something she wanted to do. And not just like when she was at We Got Y'all, like something just to do day to day, like I'm really not into this. And you'll even see that with her, she's the manager of the apartment building that she lives at right now. And she's a terrible manager of this building.
Yeah, because she is not good at all.
At all not good. Like, the folks, all the water got cut off. They all at her house like, hey, look, you're terrible at this job. But I think that's because she's pouring all of her energy and her time, her talents, and her efforts into what her true purpose is. And that's this type of, like, block party, giving people things for the culture, like inviting, like, this black vibe back into this gentrified neighborhood, which is really dope. So that's great that she's pursuing that, because I don't think we've seen her do this in like the first through third season. Like, it was really like, girl, what are you doing with your life?
I would agree that she's definitely the highest version of herself that we have seen.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But I think, in my opinion, I think they can have different roads and different focuses and still be great friends, as long as they realize what's important to the other person. As long as they can realize what season the other person is in. And I think that's kind of where they missed the mark. And I think that they felt threatened by the different seasons.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's what it is. Like, this is so not what they were used to, that it's so new to them being in this kind of position that they're in, that they don't know how to work through it, through their friendship. So it's making it a little awkward. And
I'm actually kind of glad that Insecure is showing this, because it shows just how complicated relationships can be, even with your best of friends. But I think that what's happening is, or at least from my perception, child, but I feel that Molly is used to Issa playing a certain role. And now that Issa is evolving, and like he said, before she was at this dead-end job that's like, not making a lot of money, and Molly's role was, I got the connects, I'm that girl, I'm gonna help you out, I'm gonna save you. And I think that in a sense served Molly, like it made Molly feel a certain type of way about herself. And then when Issa went and found, what's the girl name?
Condola.
Then she's like, so you friends with her? Like, how do I fit into this? So I think she felt sort of threatened.
That's good. That's a good one. I didn't pick up on that. to see that, but that does really make a lot of sense. Like, Molly felt like her role was being threatened by Condola, and that's why she was taking it, like, so why are you going to be friends with her and all this stuff? And it's just like, girl, mind yours, please.
Yeah, because that was the void that, and I mean, I guess I'm kind of jumping ahead, but when you think about it, it's like, okay, chain of events. Before it was like, yeah, self-care Sunday, BFFs, right? And then, you know, when Issa found out that Condola used to date her ex, Lawrence, she tries to call Molly. Molly's not in reach. And so Molly kind of feels like, so you ain't tell me about this? And she's like, girl, I tried to tell you. And then, you know, after her event, when it ended up being successful, what Issa Rae said, or what Issa D says is, I could not have done this without Condola. And I think that stung Molly.
Yeah.
And I think Molly should have really given her, like, it took a lot for Issa to do that, and Issa's been in the dumps for a while.
Yeah.
I would have been like, you did it! You know what I mean? Like, you just, like, you got your donations. Your dream's about to come true. You about to do this block party. Yes, girl, yes. You know what I mean? Get it. Like, it should have been a whole celebration. But she was like, yeah, that was nice. You know, like, she kind of undermined and downplayed her success in that moment.
I definitely agree, and I think that's where the lack of communication starts to fall into place, because I think if on both sides, if, you know, obviously if they had a simple conversation like, hey, this is how I'm feeling, like, I feel like, you know, you don't need me anymore. I feel like I don't have a purpose in this friendship. Like, where do I fall? Or just whatever the conversation needed to be at the time. Because I feel like they're kind of going through several different things at the same time.
Right.
So just having a conversation, and, you know, I was on Twitter talking to people, and it was just like, just talk to each other. Like, come on. Like, just have a conversation. Because I think that would have alleviated, like, a lot of these little fires that led to the big fire later on. Yeah, the showdown later on. And, you know, we've been friends and we have our friend group, and there are times where our lives are just in different places, but it's good to have those conversations. Check in. How you doing? Like, what's going on in your life? Like, where are you in your life? What do you need? Like, just those little check-ins mean so much. And I think, at least in the block party episode, like, I felt like Molly was gonna do the right thing, like, it was coming. Like, she made sure Issa had food, like, she was there. But then, you know, she just got angry because, like you just said, like, Issa got her talent a different way. She didn't need Molly. Like, she figured it out on her own way, and Molly really took that to heart. Like, okay, like, this was my thing, and, you know, she tried to make it about her boo, but it really had nothing to do with him.
I mean, he was the scapegoat.
He was a scapegoat.
That boo was the scapegoat.
He was. Yeah. And it was just like, girl. So, I just think the lack thereof is really hidden here. And I'm, like you said, I'm glad that Issa did show that, because it does happen in your friendships. Like, any type of relationship that you have, when the communication, like, breaks down, it definitely will put a damper on what that relationship is.
Right, exactly. And I think there were moments where I think both of them thought the other one was going to take the initiative, and they didn't. Because there was even a time where, well, number one, they kept saying that they were going to talk. And they did. And they kept missing the mark. They kept prioritizing other things other than having that critical conversation. And then there was a moment where Issa called Molly, and she was like, yeah, I just really wanted to talk. And she was like, oh, girl, good, because today work has just been so overwhelming, and oh my goodness. And she was like, yeah. So, my main artist just dropped out. Yeah. But guess who guess who has a connect? I know you do. I need you to do that thing where you do. And she was like, you know, yeah, whatever. And she gets off the phone, and then later she's like, I'm not gonna do it. And I feel like she did that to be spiteful. She did. She was trying to pull rank and say, like, I'm punishing you. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just saying in that moment, like, girl, I really need a friend right now.
Yeah, and that's what I just keep feeling like I'm pulling my hair out. Like, dude, just say what you need, child.
But I think a lot of times some people do that because they want people to give a certain type of reaction, but it's like, tell them what you need. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, she could have just said, like, girl, I understand that you got your block party going on, but I'm really having a really rough day. I really need my friend. Where's my friend? Can you be my friend right now? Because that's what I need today.
Like, just pause.
We will get to your thing, because you know how all your girl comes through. Exactly. But today, I need my friend.
Yes, ding, ding, ding. And that's a good point that you just made. Like, Molly does come through for Issa. Like, when Issa needs Molly, I feel like she does come through for her in the clutch. And that's a given. Like, Issa should know, like, Molly's gonna be there for her. But I think Molly should, in that moment, should have spoken up, like, look, things is crazy here. Like, let's pause that. I got you. You know that. But let me vent to you about what's going on right now.
Yeah, I think what was happening is that Molly was going through her own suffering, and Issa didn't see it.
Yeah.
And she didn't acknowledge it because she didn't know it was there.
Yeah.
So I think that the things that she would say to Molly took it really harsh, and she wanted her to hurt the way she was. So she was like, "I'm not your connect.
Yeah.
This ain't gonna be good without me. So no, I want you to feel some pain. No, I'm not doing it because I have to protect my relationship."
Yeah, and it just keeps coming
I think what she was really saying was, I have to protect my relationship with you. You know what I mean? Like, my relationship with you is at stake. She didn't say that because she was being passive aggressive. But I think that that's what she wanted Issa to pick up on, and Issa didn't pick up on it.
Yeah, and it's so funny.
Because she didn't give her an explanation. She was just like, okay.
Yeah, she didn't. She just kind of went off on her, and Issa was like, all right. But, you know, and I think they're both being very passive aggressive. Issa has always been that
she
way.
The queen.
From season 1. Like, we've seen her.
She's been that way since Our Black Girl.
Since Our Black Girl. Absolutely. So we knew that from her. But to now see Molly kind of being this passive aggressive, which is interesting because she's a lawyer. Like, just say, like, get to the point and say what you need to say.
I agree. That is very strange because she's a lawyer, but I think that because she's a lawyer, she probably justified it and built a case in her mind that supported her actions, even though they weren't valid. And I also think that just because you show up strong in some areas doesn't necessarily mean that you do in other areas of your life, because she can be detached from being a lawyer, so it's not vulnerable for me to make my case and state the facts because they're just that. I'm not married to them. But this is sacred, and it requires a certain level, or it causes a certain level of vulnerability that I'm not willing to get into. And then there was even moments where Issa called her out about the guy she was dating. Like, dude, you just trying to find something wrong. Just be happy. Be happy. What's wrong with you that you just can't be happy? Yeah. And I think that hits a nerve with Molly, and she doesn't acknowledge it.
Yeah, it's a lot of that. Like, I think subconsciously, or like just in whatever way, like, things are being said, but indirectly to them. Like, they're just not getting it. Like, it's coming out, but for them to get it with each other, like, it's just not hitting them the way it needs to hit them. Which is funny because the supporting cast of Friends are, like, all in tune with what's happening between them two and trying to give them advice. But it's just falling on deaf ears in both ways, on both people.
And they keep saying the same thing.
They keep saying the same thing.
Y'all could just talk to each other? Because if you just talk, and hey, let's not forget, Tiffany and old girl just had a similar situation
in the last season,
and it didn't work till they talked. So if y'all just talk, you know. Yeah. But I think that what ended up happening is at the block party, that was Issa's sort of climax of her purpose, as you were saying, right? That's the thing that she's been talking about since the 99 and the 2000, and here it is. And then Molly's there with a boo, which her love life has been a struggle, right? And so she's there with oh boy, and then, you know, at first she didn't even really want to go. Yeah. Like, she was acting uptight about going. She gets there. She realizes, like, oh my God, wow, this is really dope. Okay, well, what can I do, right? So now it's like, how can I serve my friend?
Yeah, because then when she was getting dressed, and she was like, yeah, like, I don't even want to go. Like, what do I wear? But then she was like, of course I'm going to go. That's my best friend. Like, you know what it is. Like, and that's her. I truly believe they love each other as best friends. It's just a growing pain right now.
But when Issa was there, she was like, oh, you came? She was like, of course, we're best friends. And she was like, absolutely. You know, like, whatever. Yeah. But I think that Molly's gesture of getting her food, I don't think that was genuine. Like, I took that as, oh my God, everything was successful without me. What can I do as an act of service? Because I didn't show up for you when you needed me. So let me get you some food.
That's good.
Issa takes the food, but then they're like, oh, Issa, you gotta go do this other thing. And she's like, oh, Molly, I gotta go, you know. And then later they run into each other on the dance floor, and they're sort of having it, you know, it ends up being one of those things where it's just like, this is me kicking it with my girl. Yeah. Throw everything to the side. we about to wobble
They
like
was
never
doing the
before.
wobble, yes.
Right?
And if you were watching and you did not get up and do the wobble, or you was moving in your bed or in your chair, come on now. I'm gonna have to revoke your black card.
Yeah,
maybe.
black card revoked.
Yeah.
But then when Molly finds out that her boo was still a resource, which she said no to,
Yeah.
then she feels like, okay, Issa, you crossed the line.
Yeah. See, this part. This part made me kind of want to drag Molly, because I feel like you said she's using Andrew as a scapegoat. Like, it really wasn't about him. Like, he had nothing to do with it. So it's like you're going off and trying to find the issue. Like, you're creating the issue. And I think it really alludes to what you said. Like, Molly feels threatened that she no longer is the it girl that Issa needs. She's no longer this person that Issa needs to kind of bail her out, because now Issa's figuring it out on her own of what this looks like.
She grew up. And I think what happened is, so Molly realizes, okay, Issa has another path to Andrew that doesn't include me.
Mm-hmm.
So Issa knows this other guy who happens to know Andrew,
Exactly.
and it came through and it worked out. And so where do I fit?
Mm.
And let's not forget that, honey, last season, Molly took it upon herself to interfere with Issa's relationship by telling her ex when he came back to the house, don't come here.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand why now you calling your boo off limits when her boo wasn't off limits last season. So I don't get that. Pot or the kettle, honey, because both of y'all black.
Listen, those are some bars. And it's so funny because without Issa, like, you wouldn't even have this man. Like, you would not know him.
You wouldn't even know.
Because of Issa and Nathan that you're even in this position to have a man at this point. So it's just like, girl, good night. So that was, this season has been hard to watch with them, just because, you know, we've gone so many years of them being this, like, couple and best friends and things like that. But it's real. Like, it's uncomfortable. And, you know, when you have issues with your own best friends, like, we know what that feels like. Like,
right,
that
exactly.
strain and that hurt and you're upset. But it's not going to get resolved until those conversations happen. And when those conversations don't happen, it's a lot of assumptions. And I'm going to make up the pieces in my head because I only know what I know. And I haven't heard from you because we haven't had a conversation, which is going to make it worse because now you're filling in the gaps for yourself.
Child, and so, as you mentioned, Issa felt in the gaps with herself, which was her mirror. The mirror image of herself that was talking back to her rapping.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like, so do I pick up the phone first?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's the process?
Yeah.
How do we get this resolved? And then it's like, well, I'm tired of always being the, you know, the one to make amends. But you know, in previous seasons, you was always the one effing up.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you should have been the one. But there was a point where she was going out to get some food, and she actually runs into Molly from a distance.
Yeah.
And there's this moment where she's like, do I, don't I? Right? Do I go in there? Do I not? Because I just met some other girls.
Mm-hmm.
I hung out with them. I had a great time. Come to find out they were using me.
They burned her. Ooh.
Right. But hey, you know.
Which is interesting. I just had an epiphany that you just said that. Because that's, I feel like how Issa felt with that girl group, that's probably how Molly feels. Like, you just used me and I don't feel used. I don't know, like in a weird way.
Well, I think back to what you're saying is that it is very difficult to be in a one-sided friendship.
Yeah.
When someone is constantly depleting you and taking from you, and they're not, iron is supposed to sharpen iron, right? So that means this is mutually beneficial. That means we're equally yoked. There's things that I give you, there's things that you give me, and together we're great. But when it's one-sided, and I'm always your connect, and I'm always coming through for you, and I'm always giving you advice, and it's one-sided. Girl, no.
Yeah, no.
And you know what? Part of her no could have been, I'm fed up.
Yeah.
I'm fed up because now I need you. And where you at?
Where you at?
You called me and said, let's talk. And I said, girl, yes, because today was so hard. And you was like, okay, great. I know my girl gonna come through with a connect, right? And that is hurtful.
Yeah.
So I think part of it is jealousy, but part of it is just true hurt.
Yeah.
Like, how many times can I keep giving to you and you're not giving me anything?
I feel that.
And I'm explicitly asking you in this moment. I'm telling you what I need in this moment, and there's nothing.
Still, it's like, whatever. But did you catch that at that restaurant? That was the same restaurant from season 1? Where they went for Issa's birthday?
Oh, no, I didn't.
That was the same restaurant. And I was like, just talk it out. Come on. But it's so funny that, you know, I feel like Kelly and Tiffany have been so spot on with their advice to them. Like when Molly was talking to Tiffany in the room with the baby, and Molly's just like, Issa got some stuff going on. Maybe y'all should just talk. Like, just talk it out. Kelly said the same thing. Like, hey, if me and Tiff wouldn't have had our conversation, who knows if we would have came back, when we were going through our issues. Like, just have the conversation with each other.
Just had a conversation. And yeah, and then if you think about it, the things that they said to each other at the block party stung, because after that, Issa was out trying to do all these good deeds, trying to be giving. Number one, she's talking to Nathan like, that I don't just use you, right? Like, I really appreciate this and blah, blah, blah. And, like, just trying to sort of prove to him that it's not about the connect. Yeah. And then she offers to give this random stranger a ride, because she's trying to prove to herself that she, that I can be there for somebody. But if you think about it, everything that she does falls through, because it's like, okay, she was trying to, the first thing was this girl was asking people to buy her and her baby groceries. The girl was pregnant. And Issa's like, yeah, I got you. But her car got declined. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, are you equipped to really be there for someone? And then with the dude like that, she did get him to the place. Yeah. But that ride was rough.
It was a rough ride. Rough ride. So you get what you get in that instance if you're being disingenuous. Is that a word? Yes.
Yeah. And then to your point, when she goes to the sip and paint or the paint tip, and she runs into the group of girls who are like doing a bachelorette type of thing, and they're being nice to her and they're gassing her up, and she's like, yes, da 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 da, and then they literally ditch her and leave her to pay the bill, and she sees a bachelorette script that says like a list of things that they're supposed to do that night, and one of them was like meet a stranger and dine and dash and double points if you do both at the same time. And she's like, they did that to me.
Yeah, but sidebar, that was rough.
That was rough. And really then rough. So in her head when she ran after the girls and clocked her with her painting, I thought that was in real life.
I wanted it to be real. I was like, come on, Issa, don't let this be like a dream in your head. Like, just do it. Like, finally do it.
But I think that shows that in her head she was really hurt by that, because she fell for it.
Yeah, she did.
And to your point, that is probably how Molly feels all the time dealing with Issa. Yeah. Like, they just took from me all night. I thought we were going to actually have a friendship. I thought I was going to be able to confide in them. And no, they just up and left me. Yes. One-sided.
Like, that whole episode. First of all, I was so excited to see Kylie Pratt. That's number one. Right. The cameos this season have been so good. Like, shout out to the casting people.
What was the show while she was on?
Who? Kylie Pratt?
Yeah.
101.
101. Yes.
101. So I was very excited to see her. I was like, okay, Kyla, she grown up. Like, it's funny because she's our age. Like, we're the same exact age. But in my head, like, she's a kid.
Right, exactly. So in my head, she's 14.
Yeah, so she's like a little kid. So every time I see her, I'm like, she grown. Like, this woman got 2 whole kids.
Right.
Like, girl.
She's more grown than we are.
She's more grown than we are. Absolutely she is. But it was so dope to see her in this cameo role. But then I was just like, I hate you, Kyla. Like, why would you do this to Issa? Like, I'm just very invested. But Issa was so hurt to the point that she had to go to her mama's house. And we know how Issa feel about her mama. Like, she just be like, yeah, no, I don't need that.
But I think it's one of those things where instinctually you know what you need, but you may not know how to get it. So she's like, if I can just hoover around the area, I'm going to go to her house. Yeah. Because even when she got there, still communication was a factor, because she still didn't say, Mama, I need help. Yeah. Mama, I'm sad. Mama, I'm hurt. She was just there. Her mama was like, come here.
Mama's be knowing. Yes.
And she cried.
She was
bawling. She cried.
Ooh, that's some good cries. Like, all of that. Gee, and only mamas can get you to do that.
So I ain't gonna lie, I cried when I saw her do that. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Like her mommy. But then I was like, see, no matter how old you get,
you need your mama.
You still need your mama.
The mama hugs be everything. But Tasha Mack, I don't know about casting for this. Like, Tasha Mack is not their mama, but whatever.
So here's the thing. I thought that it was nice to see Tasha Mack play a different role, because in my head, she is Tasha Mack.
That's Tasha Mack forever.
In my mind, that's Tasha Mack, honey.
But she ain't nobody mama.
But she's not like sympathetic and empathy, and all, and soft and all. So it was good to see her play a different role. Because even when she was on the Steve Harvey show, I felt like she still wasn't like soft.
No, she wasn't. She was very like sassy and like,
very
all right,
sassy.
living my life.
Yeah.
But Yeah, in this role, it is very different to see her, but she's Issa D's mama. She Mama D, I guess. Mama D.
The real Mama D, huh?
You know, she would be called Mama D, but yeah, Issa really kind of then, you know, she let the tears come out, and then she's kind of talking through what she needed to talk through at that point. And then, you know, her house was clean, which was good. So you leave, you have this good cry, and then you go home, and your house is clean and organized. It's like the best feeling ever as an adult. But then she, you know, get ready to go to the restaurant. Then, like Sherry Renee said, she sees Molly. In my personal opinion, I'm glad that they did not have that conversation. I will say that, like, I want them to have a conversation. I don't think that moment was the right time to have the conversation, because I think Issa was already caught off guard by seeing her. So I don't know if the conversation would have went any better than it had at the block party. So I'm honestly glad that they didn't, because who knows if they would have just had another blowout like they had at the block party, or, you know, if Issa would have not missed some things that she wanted to say or anything, because they kind of saw each other off guard.
I do think that in order to have a productive conversation, you do have to be in a place where you want resolution.
Yeah.
Right? Where you're not trying to be right.
Yeah.
And you're not necessarily trying to just be heard, but also to hear. Mm-hmm. Right? So you have to go in saying, like, I want to, like, your goal should be, what is their perspective?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I want to let them know how I felt, but I want to be able to do so in a manner that they can receive, but also I feel relief.
Yeah.
You know, like I can leave it, like I'm done. But I also want to know what was their perspective, and I want to get to a resolution.
Absolutely. So I think we're going into episode 7, so there are actually only 3 episodes left, which is really sad. But
it happened so fast.
I know, right? Like, it just goes so quickly. But the beauty of it, there is going to be a season 5, which is really dope. So we'll see if they, you know, can have a conversation and get past this, because that's really what it is. It's just the communication piece is so broken down. And I know we've talked a lot about Issa and Molly, but there are other people who are also having communication issues. I don't know if you noticed, but even Tiffany and her husband, like, nobody's bringing up the fact that she probably got postpartum. Like, we see that.
Gone.
She is gone, and nobody has said anything to her.
That's true. Nobody has said anything to her directly. I think that they made it a point to get, like, we're gonna go over her house.
Yeah.
We're gonna spend time with her. I think Tiffany is really trying to take the load off of her. Mm-hmm. So while I think she's not explicitly saying, like, girl, I'm worried about you, I think this, I think that, I think she's like, I see it.
Yeah.
I'm here. Especially considering the fallout that we had last time. Like, I don't want you to do this thing alone.
Okay.
So, because, you know, Tiffany is really not about that baby life.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's not who she is. But she is making it a point to be flexible.
Oh, you're talking about Kelly.
I'm sorry. Kelly is making it a point to be flexible and be there. Mm-hmm. Like, physically.
She is.
Be there. She is holding that baby. She was trying to check on everybody. Mm-hmm. She checking on Issa while she holding the baby, rocking the baby, losing her daggone mind.
Yes.
Somebody need to check on her.
That is true, right? Somebody
need to check on her.
Help Kelly. Right. Help Kelly.
And you know it's bad if what's the girl name who had the baby child? Tiffany is letting Kelly take care of the baby.
Right.
That's a red flag right there.
So you know Tiffany is just out, like, postpartum.
But I think you can see it on her. Like, she just seems so, like, in a day.
Yeah. Because even when they were at her house, and she was like, like, don't rile her up. Like, I like her when she quiet.
Yeah. And she was like, girl, look, I'm dirty. They was like, girl, you go on. She's like, it's sweat. Like, this is not.
I'm nasty, bro. Like, right. No, you didn't say that.
And then when she was out, and, you know, they got a call about the baby, like, oh, you need to come on. She was like, no. Like, dude, that's you.
Yes.
I'm here.
Which is funny.
I just want to get back to, like, this feels normal.
Yeah.
But she's probably starting a cycle of something, which is why you got to be careful, because, you know, like we talked about patterns before, and something, you do it, you know, you there's an initiation cycle. Mm-hmm. And I think that she might be starting something. That's good. So we have to watch out for that. We have to watch out for her.
Yeah, her and Derek have not had the conversation. And you can kind of see that it looked like it was wearing on him a little bit when he had to leave the party. And she was like, yeah, can you just go? And he was just like, kind of looked back at her like, girl. But then he went, obviously, because that's their baby. And he is trying to step up. So I think they all see it. Like, he sees it. But as new parents, you don't know. Like, you don't know what that looks like, or, you know, how to deal with that. Because even me, like, as a mom, looking back, I could be like, yeah, I had postpartum. Like, every day I was like, dude, this baby don't like me. He cries and cries. He only stops crying when his dad is around. Like, his dad leaves and go to work. I'm here with this baby. His baby don't stop crying. Like, help me, somebody. So I was like, in that moment, I didn't know that that's what I was going through. I'm just like, I'm a new mom. I suck at this. I don't even know how to be a mama. Like, I'm losing. I'm just losing. Okay. But now looking back, so I'm glad that, you know, the writers brought this piece into what Black women deal with. Like, it's a real thing that we deal with. And at this point, you know, they're all trying to help her, but then nobody has had a conversation to sit with her like, all right, which might be hard for them because they don't all have kids. None of them have children.
None of them have kids, you know, and that's why I think it's so beautiful that all of them were trying to do whatever they could do. Like, we gonna fold these baby clothes, we gonna be there, we taking out trash, we doing whatever, you know, let's hold the baby. Girl, would you ever tell me if my baby was ugly? Heck no.
Right.
The cutest thing ever. Yes, she is.
That was funny.
You know,
was like, Tiffany is crazy.
And Kelly is like being the daggone surrogate mama.
The
right
godmama.
The godmama.
Godmama.
She done swooped in.
Listen,
with all her trifling ways, honey.
Yes.
Got it together.
She be having that baby together.
She be having it
baby.
together.
Did you see the baby future AKA hat?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah, you got
girl, I have to go. I must have blinked, child.
you
I
gotta
don't know.
watch it. Yeah, she on the future AKA hat.
Oh, that's so cute.
Funny. I was cracking up. Like, they really ride her with this AKA. And then in the Finding Latoya, so the show
they commit, whatever they start with, they commit to. Because that Finding Latoya,
hilarious.
The story within a story, oh my God.
This is like the best one. Now,
it is.
What was it? The one last season, the Marvin one, that was not a good one. But this one, hilarious. Like, I'm invested in Finding Latoya.
They brought in Ray J. He said, I ain't killing her. I killed something else, but I didn't kill her.
But Latoya has a Delta keychain. Like, they're really committed to these characters.
That is so funny. That is so funny. Oh my God. But then they keep doing these press releases about a Toyota. And I'm just like, you said we're going to find the Toyota. If it's the last thing we do.
But it's so funny because it's not funny. It's funny, but it's not funny because that's how the media and the police do Black women. Like, if a Black woman go missing, it's like, whatever.
But I love how the whole cast is like committed to watching it.
Yes, like you think they gonna find Latoya?
Right. Just like, because that's what we would be doing.
Absolutely, we will be doing that. So I love.
We will be dropping it in the group chat. Like, so did y'all see this? So what's the latest update on Latoya? Did they find her?
I love it.
How we running miles for Latoya? What we doing for Latoya?
Yeah.
You know,
it's like. Issa Rae is such a sunshine. Like, she makes it so real, and I think that's why we've grasped and we love Insecure, because it is so relatable and so real.
And it talks about all of our insecurities.
Absolutely.
And it's funny. Oh my God, I was dying laughing.
This season is hilarious. Yes. Like, I've been screaming. Like, I didn't think it could get better, because I'm like, where they gonna go? Like, before season 4 even started, I'm like, all right, like, where is it gonna go?
Well, that's because they tapped out of the Lawrence and Issa story.
Right.
Like,
so
that
how
one's like, that we good on that. Now, let's dig into Molly and Issa.
Yeah.
Let's dig into, you know, other things that's going on.
But go ahead.
No, but I was just gonna say that Molly's also struggling to communicate with Asian Bae.
Oh, good point.
Because she tells everybody else he doesn't open up to me. He's not, but she never tells him. You know what I mean? Like, instead, she like creates these situations, and then when he doesn't oblige, then she's mad at him. Then she, you know, now he leaving, and you know what I mean? She's not just being explicit and saying, hey, I want you to open up to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because then, like you said, like, when they did have a conversation, and he told her kind of why, like, you know, well, I was a little insecure too, and, you know, whatever he said in that moment. But it was like, it took them both to get mad at each other and get up and leave before she had that conversation. And then they had that conversation via text message, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. Like, she texted him, like, I'm sorry. Or did she call?
Girl, who
I don't remember. But I don't think it was like a face-to-face conversation, which is what it should have been.
Even when they were in the car and she was like, oh, what you doing on Friday? And he admitted that he had another date with another girl. She was like, oh, me too, days on days on days. But she never said, like, so I want us to be exclusive. Exactly. Or, you know what I mean? Or, hey, I thought we were doing something else. You know, I have to admit, I'm a little salty right now because your girl was riding solo.
Exactly.
But if that's not what this is, let me know. Because I got my Rolodex. I can have this on this.
Got a little black book, you
right.
know.
Pull out the black book.
I got bros in different area codes, you know, just so you know. And I mean,
but that's actually where things shifted with them, is when things, and you know, my brother would always say, don't ask questions if you don't want to know the answer to them, right? But it's like you asked the question, he gave you the truth, and now you're sort of making him the enemy. Yeah. Like you're creating all these situations where now he's the bad guy, and it's like you could just say, this is not what you want. That's not good enough for me, bro. Exactly. You know, and then, hey, then y'all can decide where to go from there. That's a conversation. Absolutely. How can we make this work, or are we deciding that this is not going to work?
Yep. But for Molly, good old Molly, you know, this is just a cycle. Like, now it's trying to break that cycle. But for her, that was normal to behave in that way with your relationships. And Issa was pointing that out, like, girl, like, if you want to be happy. But you making all these scenarios and doing all this extra, like, you do this and then you mess up. Like, it's you. You're the common denominator here. So Issa, you know, in one of their many blow-ups or, you know, tits for tats, like, she said that to her. So I'm glad, you know, Molly finally did tell him, like, look, I do want you to open up. Like, I do want, you know, us to be together. But it just took a while where she could have absolutely, like, ruined another relationship. And she would have been like, all right, this is not where I wanted this to go. So I'm hoping, you know, she continues to try to break this cycle of what's normal for her. So we'll see. I think this next episode is from Molly's perspective after the block party. So we saw what Issa did after the block party and everything that happened, but I think this next episode is about Molly's perspective to that.
Yeah. To me, if I can be honest, it was very disappointing for me to see their behavior at the block party. Yeah. You know, like the going back and forth, and then even the guys was like, do y'all really need to do this right now? Right. Like, this is really a beautiful event. Yeah. Like, the guys was like, bro, I'm
so glad you said that. It's so funny because the dudes this season have had all the common sense, I feel like. Like, the men have had the common sense. Men. Yes.
That's true, because even Lawrence, you know, when he found out that, you know, his current girl is friends with Issa, he was just like, well, you know, there's no drama. We good. You know, and then he made a request to Issa, just, please keep me out of it. Y'all can have y'all friendship. I just don't want to be a part. You know?
Yep. The men have had all the common sense. I don't know what's
happening. I don't know, because Lawrence was he talking to Issa on Snapchat and stuff, though, so I don't know about that.
She posted a video and he sent the last, but it was Issa who responded. Now, we don't know what she said. So she's keeping that going, because when I'm on Instagram, I do that to everybody post. Like, a lot of people. It's just
Lawrence don't do that to everybody post. And if you the one who said, I don't want to be a part, and you trying to keep the peace, you can't say you want something and then do something that contradicts the thing that you say that you want. But then, if you saying you telling your current girl it's over, it was 5 years, yes, but we good, it ain't nothing, blah, 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 then why create something?
That's true.
Why invite the conversation with her?
That's true. And this is probably the only time that I will be on the Lawrence Hive side in this regard, because I'm not
a technical difficulties, gotta go on this way.
But I will say, so this was after, you know, Condola asked him, like, dude, are you still in love with her? And then we don't see the answer that he gives. We see his face, which is obviously like, yeah, I love this lady. But we don't see the answer. And then we find out later, like, oh, well, we broke up. So who knows what that conversation was like. Like, he probably was like, yeah, like, I'm in love with her. She was like, all right, we're done. So then he goes to her page and he sees her and he's like, all right, like, now I'm done. So we don't know exactly if they were still together or not at that point. So that's, okay, it could be. And Lawrence Hive, hey, this is it. You'll never hear nothing else from me. But on that note, like, we just don't know, because I was even shocked when he came over to Tip's house and he like, yeah, like, Well, no, because Condola told her, like, he was gonna tell Issa, but then
Right.
Issa had to leave. So Condola ended up telling her, like, we broke up. But we didn't see that till, like, a couple episodes later.
Right.
That's what had happened. So, who knows? Who knows? It could have been a little, like, you doing wrong again, Lawrence. Like, here we go. But Issa, you know, she was the one that kind of was typing. But, again, we don't know what she typed either. We don't know if that
Yeah, she could have been like, get off my baby.
Exactly. Right.
Best Buy.
Absolutely been like, all right, boy, go on, boy. So we don't know. And I like that, not knowing. And I think it is going to come full circle, like, before the season ends, like, what really happened. So we'll see.
We'll see.
We will see. I'm excited to see. And I'm praying that the communication gets better, because right now they are lacking like a mug in the communication department, from Issa and Molly, I will say. Because I feel like other conversations have been kind of happening. Even the communication, which I don't think we've seen in prior seasons, but the communication between Amal and Issa, so the brother and sister relationship, has been really good. Like, he's been there for his sister. He's given her really great advice. And we have not seen that in any seasons prior. Like, we would see them like, hey, Amal, like, whatever. Like, they would kind of have, like, brother-sister kind of banter. Like, shut up, you stupid.
Yeah, but he was like, dude, the black party, yes, it ended badly, but look.
Yeah, like, he was really,
dope.
like, supporting
like, you did
her.
that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Issa wanted to hear that from Molly.
Mm-hmm.
I
agree.
That she really wanted to hear that from Molly, and the fact that Molly was like, no, I'm not the connect. Like, I'm done. Mm-hmm. But I do think, too, that the things that need to be said is Molly needs to say, like, you gonna stop taking from me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is not
Point
okay.
blank period.
Yeah.
Point blank and period. I think that absolutely needs to be said by Molly. And I think Issa needs to just say what she needs to say as well, and not be so passive aggressive to first of all hear Molly out, recognize it, apologize, and then move forward, and so that she doesn't feel this way. Like, how can I be, you know, in your world and not make it feel like, you know, I'm just here to use you, because that's not what it is. So,
but is it?
Right? Is it?
I mean, because you know, is Molly a seasonal friend, or is Issa a seasonal friend? Because
Absolutely.
I mean, what does Issa contribute to Molly?
Absolutely. That's a good question, thinking about it that way. Yeah.
I mean, because Molly has been riding for Issa since, you know, we got y'all and before.
She has been. She really has been. So to think about it like that, that's good. Like, what does she bring to the table in their friendship? I feel like, I don't know. Now I'm going to have to rewatch. Like, how has Issa been a good friend to Molly?
Yeah,
like,
I think that's a good question, because I think that, you know, she might not be able to contribute tangible things like let me help her with her career, right? She probably can't do that. But I think that from Molly's standpoint, she was like, the least you could do is be a listening ear. You know what I mean? Like, that's literally the least that you could do.
Yeah.
And you're not even giving me that.
Because I'm trying to think back to, like, all the issues that Molly had, like, starting with her dad. Like, was Issa there when, you know, Molly found out her dad cheated on her mom? Was Issa there when, you know, she was going through her issues with Dro? Was she there when, you know, she transitioned from her one firm to the next firm? Like, where was Issa?
Yeah, where was Issa? Maybe she was there. I don't know. I'm going to have to rewatch too.
Right.
But I don't remember anything pivotal.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember her playing a vital role.
Neither do I.
You know, because, like, when you think about Kelly and Tiffany, it's like, even though it's only, like, clips that's shown of Kelly being there, it's very clear that Kelly is being there for Tiffany right now.
Yeah, she
in a time of trouble.
Yes,
okay?
Tiffany. I mean, Kelly is like we said, that's that baby godmama. Like, she is in there helping.
An award,
helping like a mug. Like, she might as well live there with Derek and Tiffany.
Yeah, I mean, might as well.
Is really helping out with that baby, which is tight to see. But yeah, I'm not even sure. That's really interesting.
Because I mean, like, even thinking about Dro, like, I think I remember Issa, like, saying some stuff, but not, like, you know.
I feel like she always says it in, like, a joking manner. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't
playing.
think that I've ever seen her be, like, call her out lovingly.
Yeah. I don't think so either.
Like, girl, this is a pattern. This is a cycle. And I mean, maybe that's just not who Issa is.
Yeah. And I think I feel like she's been doing it so long that even when she does it, like, this season, like, it pisses Molly off. Like she was saying stuff in her normal like say stuff type of way, and this season Molly just was not having it.
But you know what else? I think that's what Issa does though. Like she literally says it and moves on. Like, okay, we're done with you. But I think for Molly, it's like, I'm going through some stuff right now. Your one sentence is not good enough.
Yeah.
Like, you just saying like, oh, girl, just leave him alone. Or, girl, just be happy. Like, that's not sufficient because for you, I make connect. Like, I go to the ends of the earth for you. I bend over backwards on a tightrope, you know, holding a balance beam. Like, what are you doing for me?
That's so true.
Because you're not telling me something that I don't already know.
Right. Because essentially she does know. I mean, Molly's smart. She knows what she's doing.
She didn't say anything different than what Dude said. Dude said to her, you just can't be happy. You got to find something wrong. You know, that's what he said.
Everybody said, her brother said that to her. Yeah. Like, everybody has been telling Molly the same stuff.
But I think that shows, too, that Issa's not playing any different role. So if the dude that I'm dating says something and my brother says something and me and you are best friends, I would sort of expect you to maybe have the same sentiment, like the same message, but to really like drive it in.
Yeah, to bring it home. I agree. Which I feel like she has not done that. It's specifically this season currently.
Because I mean, I don't think she ever makes anything about Molly. Like everything is always like Issa's plight or Issa's struggle. You know, like she could have been like, girl, you know what? Let's go out to dinner tonight. We're going to talk through it. Yeah. Or let's go get drinks or whatever they do, you know, so we can work through this.
Yeah, because it's usually Molly the one doing that. Like when they have like the Moroccan theme party at her house. Yeah. It's like, oh, this is for you.
This is for you.
Which is...
Or like, let me gather the girls. We finna get this together.
Yeah, that's very true. So we'll see. Hopefully that table turns. And, you know, everybody was up in arms about Molly and, you know, they wanted to fight Molly and drag Molly and all this jazz. But let's reflect on Issa.
I don't necessarily want to drag Molly because I think she has her flaws, but I think that they both are lacking communication. And I do think, and I know personally how it can feel to be someone's friend and be ride or die and feel so depleted and then need them, ask for the help. And then have them sort of dismiss and disregard you. Like, no, you're the friend that's always okay. Remember, I'm the one that needs help. So focus on me, please. Yeah. You know, and it's like, do I need you as a friend? Because you're not friendly. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's hurtful. Like, no. Like, I'm literally, the words that came out of my mouth was, I need your help, bro.
Yeah, I literally just said, like man, like, girl, I'm so glad you called to talk. Because today, I don't have it. Like, today has been rough. Yeah. And you're like, so about me. Yeah. About my block party, about this, and about that. Ooh, and my recollection does not recall Issa ever making anything about Molly or ever doing any gestures or anything. Like, she just dropped her 15-second advice and move on.
She does. Or she has her little songs.
She be back to her. Right. She literally goes back to herself.
She has her, you are the best friend, like that little song.
Yeah. Don't make fun of her song because you be singing her song. I promise you be singing her song.
Oh my God, so hilarious. Like, I definitely see so much of myself in all the characters. Right. It's so funny.
Me too, child.
Like, it's totally something I would do, sing to my friends.
Right.
They're the best. But yeah, no. So it'll be interesting to see where they come up with, because I think that is, like, we're kind of missing the point. Like, a friendship, like any relationship, is two people. Like, it goes both ways. So in order for the relationship to work, like, both people need to be invested and to be able to communicate on both ends, not just one person all the time, feeling like they have to carry the load of this relationship.
Yeah, and not only that, but when she was sitting there complaining about Asian, like, she could have just, instead of being like, girl, just be happy, she could have been like, girl, what's going on? Like, talk to me about this. You know, because from what I'm seeing, it looks like everything's fine, but maybe it's not. Yeah. Are you okay? Are you good?
Yeah. Which should have been, like, key, because they hadn't been, like, doing self-care Sunday. Like, they hadn't been seeing each other. So, at least for me, like, you know, I don't talk to my friends every day. And I'll be honest with it, I just don't talk to my friends every day. But I know if I go an extended period of time, like, I need to check in. Like, are you good? Or if I see trends, like, you don't look right, I'm going to ask, like, hey, are you okay? Like, what's wrong? Yeah. Like, I'm even gonna call, and my friends know I don't call.
I know,
like,
right? That's
nearly
why,
as
and it's
much.
crazy because when you call, be like, so I gotta answer.
Yeah.
'Cause if I don't, that's a red flag.
Yes.
You know?
So
like,
I'm like,
she's never gonna be like, round up the troops.
Oh,
we're
for
heading
real.
out there.
Listen,
we're taking a trip. Everybody, pack your
absolutely.
bags.
One of my friends don't answer. Oh, I gotta write up on you now because now I'm worried. Like something is not right. So yeah, you know, at some point you have to, you as a friend, you know, like trends within your friends of what's going on, or you know when you need to check in.
But she's not picking up on any of the red flags,
which is so crazy.
Even her just switching jobs, like and knowing like this has been a struggle for Molly, like you think that she would have been like, dude, how is work going? Because it wasn't going too great, before. So are we good? How dude doing at the job? Is he still treating you like this or what?
Yeah, which was, I'm glad that was a little turning around. I'm glad the ladies at her job, they was talking for the better part, because I was like, ooh, that's gonna be a mess. Like, what's happening with Molly's firm? This is awful. But yeah, like, Issa's not picking up on that. She's so wrapped up in what she has on her plate right now, which is a lot. So I'm not gonna discredit the work that she, you know, put into her block party, which is a huge feat, but you know, I feel like Issa is so, like, one-minded. Like, she focuses so much on one thing, and then everything else around her kind of falls apart.
I agree that she doesn't balance very well, because it could have just been a simple, let me check in with my friend this week. Hey, girl, how's it going? How's work? How's the boo? Whatever. All right, you know, good to hear from you, you know, whatever. But they just keep missing the mark because, and Molly's Boo points out, like, hey, she's been busy. Like, she's been doing all of this, you know. But they even just start to lie to each other. Like, when they did do Self-Care Sunday and they went on their little hike, and then dude called Molly, Asia Bay calls Molly, Issa says, like, oh, girl, who is that? And she says, girl, just some work stuff, you know. But because she just didn't want to open up that can of worms. So I think that Molly has like this fear of vulnerability. Like, Issa is your friend, you know what I mean? But I think because she keeps taking jabs at her.
She does.
She don't want to say, like, girl, you was right. I was being OC with him, and now we're in a better place. Yeah. Like, she doesn't want to admit that she was wrong.
I agree. Yeah, them jabs, I'm like, they both throwing jabs. I'm like, come on, man. Just say what y'all need to say to each other. Like, jeez.
But, you know, I think, to your point about the trends, Molly is very sensitive to Issa's behavior and when things are off. Yeah. And I think Issa is completely oblivious to what it looks like. Because I think she expects Molly to always be okay.
Be put together.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, though, because she calls her out so much on not being together. At least when it comes to men. Yeah. So maybe she is oblivious more to, like, the career aspect. She like, okay, Molly got it. Like, she got it under control. I'm not worried about her in that aspect. But when it comes to Molly and her relationships, Issa be pointing out like a mug, like, dude, stop doing that. Like, I don't do this again. Like, stop being this way. So she's very, like, quick to point out her faults and failures when it comes to her relationships. Now, when it comes to, like, her, you know, parents, her daddy issues that she has, nothing. When it comes to her career, like, Issa just had nothing to give to her about that.
So I started off wondering if both of them were struggling because they both didn't want to see each other fail, and sometimes it's hard to watch your friend do something that you don't think is productive to the goal that they say that they want, right? So, like, maybe Issa is like, dude, Molly, I ain't about to watch you with this Asian babe messing up again. And maybe Issa is like, dude, why are you being friends with Condola? Girl, I'm gonna work on names, child. But why are you being friends with Condola? You like mess. You like it. You're knee deep in it. You don't have to do this.
Yeah, she does, man. And that Condola, that character, I wasn't expecting that character this season, so that kind of threw me off as introducing this new character and what this is gonna look like. I will say, like, kudos to Issa for picking it up, because even when she saw Condola at the block party, that's where they saw each other right now. I don't remember, whatever. So they see each other, and Issa didn't think that she was going to show up either, and then that's when Condola kind of tells her, like, yeah, me and Lawrence broke up, but, you know, Condola still did her part as, you know, she was hired to. I don't know if Issa hired her, whatever partnership they had that she continued out with, you know, making sure that was fine on her end. But I like the way Issa handled it too, to just be like, all right, well, I'm gonna keep on doing what I did. Like, she didn't really dwell on that, on what that issue could have been, because Condola absolutely ghosted on her, and Issa could have went in on her, like, girl, and she didn't.
But you know what? I still think, I don't know. She definitely ghosted her, and you know, was that appropriate? No. But I also think that when Issa saw her and when she told her, like, she did say like, "Oh, I'm sorry," but then she just went back to doing what she was doing, just kind of like how she does with Molly.
Yeah.
Like, I think she probably should have been a little bit more sympathetic, you know, and just really kind of been like, you know. I don't know what would have been appropriate, but I don't think I would just been like, oh, I'm sorry, bye. But I also know that I'm an empath. You know what I mean? So I don't know, right? Like I couldn't just have somebody tell me something devastated them, and then I would just be like, oh, I'm sorry, bye. You know what I mean? Like, but I feel like that's how Issa is with Molly and with everything else. Like, she's sort of self-centered to a certain degree.
For sure. And I don't know if it was a little bit of, like, she finally heard Molly to be like, why are you friends with her? When, you know, that's just not gonna work. And when she goes to her, maybe she felt some type of way, like, all right, like, I can't go backwards in any of this, like, with you or Lawrence. Like, nah. Like, I gotta get these goals together.
It's just weird because although they were business partners, I feel that they were also forming a friendship.
They were a really good one. Like, they really connected.
They was kicking it. They was hanging out. They was doing all kind of stuff. So, to me, it just seems weird that she would just sort of ignore what she's saying. Yeah, like, I would have probably been like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. Like, do you want to go? Like, do you think you can handle being here? Are you okay? Like, are you good with this or what? Like, what state are you in? Right. Is it okay for you to be here right now?
Or
because I kind of got it. You know what I mean?
Or will we
and then later, I probably would have been like, and by the way, don't ever do that shit again.
On the real, that's what I would have said.
Let's get girl high and drunk.
Like, don't do that. Okay. Have me double texting you. No. What we not going to do is that. Or will we see, you know, Lawrence and Issa rekindling? Because I say that because we don't know what the conversation was like with Lawrence and Condola when she asked him, did he still love her? So we don't know what that is like. But then Issa also in turn had a conversation with Amal saying, like, I felt like she got the best version of Lawrence after I had him all of that time.
And child, that was the truth.
Girl.
Ooh, when she said that, I said, that's the truth? I mean, you got best by Lawrence, honey. You ain't got no rent money, Lawrence.
None of that.
No haircut. Ain't got no haircut, Lawrence.
None of that.
You got low rents.
Low.
Okay, low. Okay.
The lower.
And she got this dude, you know, she coming home, he like, I got the wine, I got
this.
He like, I got
job.
this. Right.
He's gonna get a promotion.
He doing all kinds of stuff.
Yes.
He cut up.
Listen, all that. I definitely felt that. I'm like, all right, Issa, where do I send the collection? Because I got you. Totally.
Pal, your girl.
Yes, I felt that was crazy. So that makes me wonder, like, is that why she kind of was like, all right, bye, after seeing Condola, if there's something still there? Because first of all.
And you know what, didn't he, like, not do something for her birthday or something?
Yeah, he forgot her birthday.
Oh, he forgot her birthday. Yeah, like, she did not get the best version of Lawrence, but Lawrence was also very depressed.
And that's something I'm glad that, you know, Insecure was able to bring it up, because men get depressed too.
Lawrence, I mean, he was low.
That was definitely his lower self.
That was his lower self.
Yeah, so I'm glad that was something of a highlight to show, like, men are depressed and they, you know, they feel low at times and what that looks like. But I feel her, like, man, it's hard to move on when you feel like, what if I would have gotten this Lawrence that,
what if I would have rolled it out?
Yeah, what if I would have rolled it out?
Child, then I don't know, child.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, who knows if she would have been able to do what she wanted to do. I don't know if she would have been able to do that block party, because the block party idea stemmed from Nathan, her meeting him.
But it's just weird because I feel like Issa also was struggling. I mean, I guess she was doing, better than Lawrence, but she was still on her own struggle bus. And I guess maybe that's what made it unbearable. It's like, look, both of us cannot be doing this at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's also like, okay, do you just want the best version of me, or do you want me? Because me is also my lower self sometimes, you know? So.
Yeah, but I think shout out to, I feel like we've been doing a good job of helping each other in our own relationship paths and sending each other like inspiring videos and things like that just to better ourselves. So when we know better, we do better. So that's where we are as a friend group as far as like our own personal like relationships with men. But I don't know if it was you or Scarlett, shout out to Bessie Scarlett, who sent the video of Spirit and how she was talking about like don't fall in love with like potential and things like that. Like
that was me.
Okay, true. Hooking us up with the words, but
Spirit is dope.
Spirit is really amazing. But she talked a lot about like don't fall in love with potential, and I think that's what Issa did. Like she knew that was there, and the potential was absolutely there. But that's what she fell in love with. So then when it didn't come to fruition, she was salty about it. Like, because he was dealing with his own, like, set of demons and sense of failure.
So Spirit is a psychotherapist that appeared on Sister Circle.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was having a conversation on Sister Circle. And they were talking about, I think, was it communication? I forget what the topic was. Yeah. Maybe it was communication. Mm-hmm. And she was saying how, you know, when you meet with somebody, your assumption should be that this is who they are. Mm-hmm. Not this is who they could be. Yep. Because this is who they are today.
Mm-hmm. Here's who they are today.
That is the truth. Because, I mean, I think when you look back at, you know, your past relationships and dating and whatever, and it's just like, you got to commit to who they are today.
Mm-hmm. Who they are right now.
That's what it is.
Absolutely.
But they were together for 5 years though, so I think that she knew I guess that's what wasn't clear, is where was he before, and did he fall, or was he this, and she was tired of it and ready for him to burst out of his shell.
I really feel like it was the latter, even though they don't see. I'm gonna have to go back and watch, but I don't feel like they gave us much of a backstory on him. I don't know, like, did they even meet in college? Like, how did they meet? Like,
right,
what's
like,
the story? We don't know that. But I'm assuming it was just the latter. Like, that was just him. Like, he had all these ideas in his head, but he just didn't know how to break out from that. Mm-hmm. So he had the potential. The potential is there, but that's who he was.
But everybody has potential.
Everybody has it, and you got to accept
we could
both
right be the president of the United States at some
Absolutely.
point. Now, we probably will not.
No.
But we could.
But we could if we wanted to, because we have the potential to do that, clearly. Cause
we're U.S. citizens. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we meet the criteria. Right.
Listen, we're almost at the age requirement. So
right.
Yeah,
so eventually we'll get there. Right.
We can do it. But, yeah, so that's really interesting to see that dynamic and what that would look like. So maybe that's my little tidbit of why Issa was just like, all right, girl, see you around to Condola. So
she did get the better version of him, though.
She did, man, and I felt that whole scene in my soul at the Mexican restaurant. Like, man, Issa, I have been there so many times where it's just like, I feel like I'm the practice wife. Like, everybody gets to practice with me. And I'm saying that because most of my exes have gotten married to other people. So I really feel like I was the practice that they needed to make it work for the next person. So I feel that.
Although some of my exes have gotten married as well, I still don't feel like that.
See.
Hey, I don't know. Probably just because I didn't do a good job of picking, child.
Listen, I definitely
because I don't know. I think there's only one guy that I'm like, really, bro?
Right. Really? Yes.
But everybody else, I'm like,
good.
Right. You know, I'm good.
See you later, sucker.
Right.
All that. So, yeah, I feel it. But, no, I definitely feel like I've had some bums in my life, too. But, some of them, I'm just like, really? Like, I was the practice of what you needed to grow up. And in hindsight, like, you wasted my time. I didn't need that in my life. But, hey.
But here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are.
So, there's that. But I'm really, I don't want this season to end because, like Sherry Renee said, it went super fast. And if you all watch the show, I don't know if it's just me or if y'all noticing it too, but it'd be like, the show come on, they play the music, something big happens, and then there's the end credits. Like, it goes off.
Yeah, like, I'd be like, wait.
Yes! So
we done?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's over. Yes, the episode goes off, and you be like, bruh, I was just getting comfortable and into it, and it was getting good, and then it just goes off.
There's just one more thing that I just want to bring up, and it has nothing to do, well, it does have something to do with communication, so there we are. So Kelly just decided to have this whole full-blown accent with this dude.
Hilarious.
Like, where did that come from?
Kelly is
was like, yeah, when I met him, it just came out, and here we are. But then when they thought that it was a shooting, she was like, let's go. And he was like, what happened to your accent? And she was like, I'm from Philly.
Yes, hilarious. I'm from Philly. I was like, Kelly is a mess. But that dude was so dumb. I was cracking.
I mean, oh my God.
She was like,
Lord.
what's the part to government or something? He was like, this is the bank branch. That's why we have Bank of America.
Oh my God.
Bank of America.
But he said it like he meant that. Like it was factual. And I was like, wait a minute. Like, some people going to be watching this and they're going to be like, yes, because there's 2 branches.
Yeah.
And Bank of America.
One is the Bank of America. He was dumb. She was like, he fine, but he dumb.
Child. So what goes in the to-go box?
Oh my gosh. Wow. I'm going to put it in the to-go box just... And it's so funny because I'm learning this as well. I've said this in episodes past. Like, I don't do well with confrontation. I'd rather just kind of say something funny and then we move forward. But I think, I'm taking this leadership class, reading this leadership book, but just learning that communication is important, even if it's going to hurt for a minute, but just getting out what you need to say. And making sure that you are listening, like not listening to win or, have this rebuttal or whatever it's going to be, but listen to really hear out the person, and understand where their perspective is or where they're coming from. So having those conversations.
So, I actually sent this video. I was watching the Mel Robbins episode, and this guy ghosted this girl.
Mm-hmm.
And the girl came on because she was trying to get help from Mel. Like, why did he ghost me? And Mel was like, you said this happened about 15 times. Like, people just ghost you. And she was like, yeah, I don't get it. And so the guy is on there. And I guess they were supposed to be like partners in, I don't know if it was real estate or what it was. But they were supposed to be like joining forces, and they were getting ready to do like ad campaigns and commercials and stuff like that. And I guess she had talked about his weight, like saying like, you can't get on camera looking like this, right? Mm-hmm. And so the guy shows up and he had lost weight. She's like, oh my God, like you look great, da 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 da. And so he was trying to explain to her why he ghosted her, which is because you hurt me, right? And she just did not hear it. And Mel Robbins was like, her and Mel was kind of like going back and forth because the girl just would not hear what he was saying. And she was like, you don't get to tell somebody that you didn't hurt them.
Right.
Like, that's not how that goes. And then the girl says, so I've been diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder.
Oh, Lord.
Right.
Well.
But, right. And she was like, yeah, that's why you won't be able to sustain a relationship. Because you have no sympathy, you have no empathy, and you do not yield to other people's emotions. Like, it was crazy. I was like, and I mean, the girl, I was like, you gonna go back and forth with Mel on her show?
Right.
Like, who does that?
Girl.
Because you can't even do that here. You can't even do that on Brunch with Besties.
Please get your life together.
But it was crazy. So, yeah, so my takeaway is that to, hear out, making sure go to hear the other person's perspective and to share yours, not to be right, just swap perspectives and to move forward. Yeah. So how can we move on from this? What is the solution? How should we change? How should our interaction change, and how would it be mutually beneficial for both of us? And then I would also say what it is that you need. You know what I mean? I do think that. I think for a while, Molly probably didn't do that, but in this episode, she did. She said, girl, today was rough. Yeah. I'm glad you called to talk because I need to talk. And Issa wasn't hearing none of that.
Was oblivious.
And I would also say, for the friends that you have, ask yourself, what are you contributing to the friendship? That's all I have. Thanks for tuning in to Brunch with Besties podcast. Until next time, peace. Oh, I meant to say, catch us on the Tizoo.
Catch us on the you. Oh, be careful,